Soda with the Nerds of Color. I am a huge, huge fan, and I just really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Sophia. I really appreciate you, really, truly.
Oh my gosh. Well, your show, unbelievable. Absolutely loved it from the pilot, and it has kept me on the edge of my seat since. Really stands out among the crime drama lineup. It's very different in the best way possible. In your opinion, why do you think fans are responding to it? I mean, I think it's obvious why they're responding to it. It's so different, but like, is it the same reason you responded to it? Do you think it's the same?
Yeah, I think that people, especially, no one does procedurals better than NBC. Am I right? Let's think about it. Law and Order
Right? Let's
SVU is
go.
doing 25-year celebration. So
Yeah.
people know that they can go to a network and see a great procedural on NBC. Then you have the twist.
Right.
And there's a man in the basement. So now you're getting what you love about a procedural with the twist of energy. And then you have all these beautiful, colorful characters who've gone through their own versions of trauma. And they're still somewhere in the healing process, which is so relatable to so many people. I think people have been thirsty for something, for a fresh take on a procedural. I think NBC got that right away. And also, I think we are a more caring society than we give ourselves credit for sometimes. So the stories, digging into stories for underserved communities could have been polarizing for some at first, because you're saying they don't get that it's saying every missing person deserves to be found, or look for us to, adding the stuff. But NBC saw the need to get that messaging out there, to make sure that we're telling these great stories, and to stick to something that they do well, a procedure. Yeah. And did I mention there's a man in the basement?
When you get to that part, it is just like, I think there's so many elements that so many age groups enjoy about this show. Like, there is something for everyone, which is the best part. And I mean, the twist, you said it perfectly. You can't get better than the twist. You have such a big fan base, obviously, from Shameless. You're such a talented actress. I'm curious, what is it like to see everyone from your past work follow you onto this? And then also, can you tell me why the role of producer was important to you for this project? I love that you are a producer.
Yeah, thank you. Well, again, I'll tell you a couple of, to have the fans, it's very nerve-wracking. One of the things that's very intentional, I think, in most of our careers is we try to show the diversity or the range of the characters that we think.
Yes.
People love Veronica. I love Veronica. Okay, I love that whole experience. It's a once in a lifetime, and we're still all very, very close. Most of us speak multiple times a day. I'm headed over, the brownies that are in my oven right now is because I'm going over to Jeremy's house in a little while with our kids to play. So we're very close.
Oh, this is adorable. I love that.
So the fact that I'm doing something new, and I know the fans have an expectation of what they think they know about me. I didn't know how they were going to respond. I knew they would follow because they're really pretty, they're loyal. And they loved it. And just as they were able to fall in love with Veronica, they're able to fall in love and say wonderful things about Gabby. And that's been beautiful for me, honestly. It's the biggest thing about stepping. I did 11 seasons playing a character. It's very hard to not ask, where's Kev, when you're a Gabi Mosely and associate.
You gotta pull him over. You gotta pull him for a guest star role, right?
Like, man, would I love it? He's my best friend. You know what I mean? Just being with him again would be amazing. So that's been great. And as a producer, one of the things that I had intentionally set for myself was, after being 11 seasons on the show and being able to have my children on the show and being nurtured and learning from the best in the business, one of the best in the business, my mentor, John Wells, directing, and how he's able to structure being a producer. And after conversations with him, I knew that I didn't want to walk out of that time in my life being just an actor for hire, because I felt like I had so much more to offer as an artist. What I have done on the sets prior to this is be a unpaid producer of managing people. And I said, well, if I'm going to be doing the work anyway, which I love, and I like to coordinate and problem solve, and you know what my role is as a producer, and to have a say, not in that I need to talk about the script, because the writers can handle that. I'm a producer that knows how to stay in my lane. I don't need to. Yeah. So knowing that, I had a meeting with NBC, signed an overall deal. They understood my vision of what I wanted for my career. We tried some things that did not work.
I mean, you landed here, so.
But it was all, we always say, Lisa Katz and I, 3 is a charm, and the 3rd one was a charm, and thank God for NK. That's my other thing. So it's great to, and I also wanted to produce it when I'm producing, it's to be with partners who have the same moral fiber and leadership style as I do, which is leading with love. We have a good time on our set. We deal with some dark stuff. But when I tell you, you'll come on our set and you'll say, are y'all talking about finding me? Is that, what is happening? Why are y'all singing and dancing? So that's another great thing about our show.
I love that. And I spoke with your wonderful co-star, Brett, who I am a big fan of. Like, you and him in this show together, like, just unlocked a big fangirl moment in me. I loved seeing you two together. And he spoke so highly of you. And I want to ask you sort of the same question. I mean, the relationship between Trent and Gabby just grabbed me from the pilot. I love how you two work off of each other. Can you tell me just a little bit about creating that dynamic and making it, I mean, I know it probably takes a life of its own in a way, because you're, as much as you're acting, the chemistry just flies off the screen. What is it like seeing it? Oh, I love it. It was one of my, I was like, oh my God, this is better than I thought. I was like, they're co-stars, but they created this dynamic that is just perfect for this show.
Oh, that's so great. That's so great. That it's funny because I've been on the press circuit so long, so I'm used to talking about Sir. So it's I know I got the chemistry. So it was like, oh yeah. But yes, you know, what's crazy about Gabi Mosely in this time in her life, under different circumstances, I think she and Trent would have been so wonderful together, but she's in no place to bring anybody into her chaos. Yeah. Like, that does not, it's just not where she is. And I think that's also something lovely about the show, is that you can see these characters that clearly have some sort of connection if you're going to model life. And sometimes it's I'll see you next lifetime. It just, because you can't get there. And Gabby in no way, shape, or form is in any place where she could be in a relationship. But if she were, sure, Trent would be that person. He's wonderful. But she knows how unfair it would be to bring him into her crazy world. And she would never want to do that. So I think that it's really nice to watch the hero of a show or movie or anything not do the typical, they're in bed and they are, how come it, and this is the love interest, and this is the, you know, to have it actually be real life circumstances affecting why these people can't be together. And it'll be a long time before she gets to a place where she can give herself emotionally to a person. Yeah.
I think that's what stood out to me as well. Like, even, we're going to talk spoilers for the finale now, but even the fact that she didn't tell him and she was like, I can't put him in that position. It's like you two just created this dynamic that works so well together. And no matter what is going on, the connection is there and the care is there. The fact that he wanted so badly to know what was going on, and she didn't want to tell him. What do you think in her head she was afraid of that conversation? And do you think there is a time that comes up after, especially after seeing her tell the rest of the team, which we'll get into a second?
Yeah, I think that she doesn't want to compromise who he is. The thing about Trent is that he's a good person and he's a good cop. And he believes in following the line. And I think that was the hardest part with him being with Gabby, because Gabby will go all around. She'll curve, she'll go underneath, she'll dig, she'll fly. Like, towing the line is not in Gabby's vocabulary.
The line is gone.
It's just we've lost it. Who he is.
Yeah.
And she knows that he has already compromised a lot of who he is to be in whatever this back and forth, will they, won't they dynamic. And she doesn't want to add to that anymore. The worst that she did was already get him suspended, right? That was already, that was
That's actually
big
exactly
thing.
when I talked to Brett in that episode when he had gotten suspended.
Yeah. And I think that to put him in that position, sometimes you want to tell the truth and you're like, I'm doing it to be a good person and for the other person, but really it's for yourself, because the other person does not need that cross to bear. I don't want to know. I'm good over here. What do I need to? Yep. So I think that she has a lot of, this would not really benefit him. Now, in the future, I'm not sure with the way that it ends.
I know.
She'll be able to keep that. And what does that mean for them at that point? Because how does he, in his mind, ever be with a woman that would do such a thing? I mean, really?
Yeah.
How could you ever? And so we'll see.
We're going to have a lot to discuss when season 2 happens. Just saying. I'm covering the show. I'm ready. I'm ready, Shanola. We're going to be talking again.
Let's please. Yes, please. Let's make this an annual, biannual.
I got you. My name is next to this show. I'm covering it.
I love it.
I love it. I love Found, and I love you. And
thank you.
In the season finale, the other thing I want to ask you about is the scene, as I mentioned, when Gabby finally tells the rest of the team. I think the way that it was done was so interesting that you don't actually hear anything. You just, the reactions are so big that that's all you need to see. How did you approach that moment? Did you say anything that you could share? And what was it like seeing it? Because I imagine doing it is one thing, but then seeing it all like play out on the screen is probably, it gives you chills, right?
It does. And even when you read it. So let me just tell you, it was always never going to be heard what Gabby said, but there was something written. So the confession was written out. So we're not like, I'm not going.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Or you're saying something like, do you want to go get dinner later? Like, what do you want to do? You want to go this? You want to go that?
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
And so I got the pages for it. And I don't know, a night or something before we shot that scene. And I'm very big on being off book right away. So I was like, oh, I have to sit so long and I got to be off book. But I also knew for the actors, I needed to be off book and tell the story properly, right?
Yes.
So that they could give their organic, and we have such wonderful actors. You have the Kelly Williams of the world, you have the Karens and the Gabrielles and Arlens, and they are so connected to their characters. So I thought it was such a beautiful choice to have it be seen and not heard, to be felt. I think you feel the emotion more. It makes you want to hungry more for how did she say it? It does all of those things. But for me, doing that particular scene was probably the most gutted scene that I did as Gabi Mosely.
Yeah.
Watching them one by one walk out that door, when you realize she has no one else.
Yeah.
So in what got cut is by the end of it, Gabby was in fetal position on that floor. So by the time she sinks down, it just is everything to be able to get back up, which thank God Don stayed.
Yeah. That sinking down was just, oh my gosh. And lastly, before I let you go, I want to just ask you.
Oh no, I want to stay with you all day.
I know. Could we to New York one time? We'll do like a whole day in New York City together.
You gotta come visit around. The set.
Shanola, don't tease me. I will be there in 2 seconds.
Yeah, you gotta come visit the set and we do it in person.
A dream.
You would love our set. It's so fun.
I would love it. And I'm not even anytime I will hop on a plane, drop everything I'm doing.
We got to make it happen.
And the finale cliffhanger, I mean, we obviously knew it was going to be dramatic. What was your reaction in a few words And what are you excited to see aftermath wise? Because there is going to be such an aftermath moment.
My reaction in a few words: shocked, gutted,
Yeah.
mind boggled, nervous.
Oh, I love the nervous. That's like the perfect way to end it. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's great.
Because, and now I'll follow up, you do it however you want, but the way it ends is, how do you come back?
Right.
Like, just like any relationship, right? You break up with a boyfriend or girlfriend or, you know, friends.
Yep.
And you try to get back together, right? You try to mend, you have conversation, but it's never the same.
Yeah.
Because something was broken. Something was so broken that you either start fresh, like it didn't happen, which then it still is a layer of that it did happen, or you say it happened and this is us now, and what does that mean? So that's the nervous. How do you come back? Here's what I know though. NKG Carol has a plan. And season 2 will not disappoint. I got to hear a little bit of the rundown. And when I say, if you are a fan of this show and you want to go through 22 episodes of a show, this is the one right here. Because if you think our show leads with cliffhangers from pilot all the way to the end.
Oh, 100%.
Imagine that for 22 episodes. Whose heart can take it? That's why you need the break between the weeks. And believe me, I am a person who likes to binge, but sound takes too much out of you. You need your week.
Actually, your seat moments, Shanola, they're needed to get through the week. We're going to go get a drink off the record, like a nice coffee moment, so you can talk to me and tell me what you know.
Girl, for NK to kill me? No, mum's the word. I'm not telling friends, anything. But I'll tell you this. Here, I'll do the same thing where you don't hear anything in that last scene, but reactions. And here it is. Here's me listening. I'm across the table for MK.
Shanola, you have become my favorite person.
That's season 2. There's the reaction of season 2.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I will see you soon for season 2, whether it's
I'll see you a couple of times. Again. I can't wait.
Oh, we are going to be talking. We are going to have a lot to talk about.
Yes, girl. Finale.
I know. Congratulations. Really, congratulations on this one. I appreciate you so much. And real pleasure to speak with you. I had so much fun.
Yay, good. Thank you. I'll see you again. Bye, beautiful. And thanks for your support of the show. Truly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
Always well deserved.
The activists, directors, comments and the lectures, fanboys, professional artists and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The Hard Knock Life.